Hello, welcome back to History of Design. Today's Thursday. We'll go over a little bit of everything. But first, well, not kind of like first. We'll open this up. We're in session 2. Session 1 ending tonight, midnight. The Thursday assignments. The Thursday assignment is due tonight at midnight. Dead stop. Boom. And we move on. We're already in week 2. So, as you know, make sure you do your attendance. I go by that. I don't care if I talk to you in person. I've seen you and I shook your hand. If you don't do that, you missed class. So make sure you do that. Got Tuesday's lecture is up. I'll do today's lecture. I'll post that. Mid-session project reviews, use them. Now here's the reason why you should use them. So I'm going. And I did my, on Tuesday's lecture, I did my Printing Comes to Europe title. But I didn't read my own assignment. I got to redo it. Title, Printing Comes to Europe. Only 2 colors. Only 1 font. And 2 typographic modifications. Well, I have like 3 colors and 2 fonts. So now I got to go back and redo it. 3 colors, 2 fonts, I messed this up. So I want to keep the background and, but I need to change these. So I want the blue, but I need to fix because I can only use 1 font. So these ornate letters, I sure as heck ain't going to print those out because as cool as they are, I can't use them. But what I'm going to do, I got to change this, is I'm going to just switch them around. And it's okay. And the reason I do this is setting those restrictions makes you work harder to get something creative out of it. And it's done all the time. You're going to have clients that just say, we can afford 1 color. Or we're doing it in duotones and 2 colors only. And you're like, oh, wait, okay, I got to think of this in a different way. So I'm going to take these big letters. I'm going to draw a square just to make sure I have that blue. And I know what blue that is. And I'm fine with the blue for this. So I'm just going to jump around. And then I need the P and the E. So I'm just going to tap, do a capital P, click on it, click on that. I can make it big. So now I just kind of have to redo everything. Not everything. I'm just going to reset and make that an E and figure out how to get around it. Now I double check this and I'm on Morris and I mean, the ornament is technically the same font, isn't it? Oh. It is technically in the same P22 Morris. I don't have to redo that. Well, I found the workaround is it's in the same family. So there's Golden, there's Troy, and there's Ornaments. All right, well, that fixes one problem because then I can keep that. I technically won, but I can only have 2 colors. So all this needs to be the blue. So there we go. That's how I'm going to fix it. So, I sent it in and I sent it back to myself and with notes. And I was like, check your fonts. Well, I can prove that the fonts are right. And then these just need to change to a color. But because I started working on my, no, I'll leave it at this. Nice and simple. And just change this as I'm looking at it. Let's change this. I kind of like maybe want it bigger, just a tad bigger. Get those lined up. There. Okay, that's my new one. So, well, yeah. So now it's only 2 colors. It's the background color, which is cream, and then it's the blue of those. Dunzo. Now I fixed it and I'm all good. So just letting you know, even I mess up sometimes and I have to go back, check it, make sure I did it right. That's why you use mid-session project reviews, is to check that you're doing everything A-okay. Now, what else is due? That we talk about? Printing comes to Europe. We have, the area. We are working in InDesign. Title, images, paragraph. We have to have a title, 200-word paragraph, 5 new period, and a background design. Well, where am I at with that? Boom. So here it is. This is where I'm at so far. As you can see, I'm using the margins. I've got the type set, but I stopped. So we do this thing, and I copied and pasted this from Gemini. I had it. I was very specific in what I asked for, and then I reread it, and I copied and pasted it out. And I hope you can see the problem. It's starting to look good, but it's not great. Look at these gaps. You're the designer. You need to look at, and I get this all the time. I'm not kidding, like all the time, is we go online or we go somewhere and we copy and paste. Because we copy and paste, it keeps all the returns, it keeps all that. And we need to get rid of all that. So like, this isn't right. Like, you should be looking at like the edges of your designs and checking like the font and like, okay, everything looks perfect in this first paragraph. I got this, and the mechanics of the type mold. Okay, I got that. It's looking good. Historical significance. I'm like double checking everything. And then, oh wait, why is this like this? All right, I have to go in and adjust that. So I'm just going to go in and put down a letter and hit a space. And there it fixed it. But here's the part. I want to remove this one here as well. And you can see when I hit the return there, it made it gapped it, because that's how I have my paragraphs set, is it's adding a gap. But that just shows me. So this is coming across as a soft return. I want to make sure that one's taken care of. And then that one's taken care of. Why do we go through and do that, like real finite detail, and making sure that the is that could mess up before it prints? You kind of want to make sure that like your piece is like, as they say, set in stone before it goes to the printer, because those little errors, if it gets printed, they're going to be like, well, that's what the document had on it. We printed the document and something shifted, and then that happened. So they'll blame you. And then you have to redo everything and go back in and fix it. And then you lose money, and it's a whole rigmarole. Let's put on some guides here, because I don't know where my middle is. 7. Click in. There we are. I want to see where the middle is and make sure like then this is good. This can be, it's always good to have, if something's centered, it's always better to have it a little bit higher than a little bit lower. And there's a visual weighting issue. And then so if I tap this up by 1 line, it's just set like 1/8 of an inch higher than the middle, and it's going to look better. And then I have my libraries, and I can pop my images in. 1. I got a bunch of images. 2, 3. I want this one. 4. I mean, if I have those, I can do, this is a duplicate. This is just like this. And I'm going to grab them all. And this is what I do. I go to 25. Just make them real small. Make them all the same size right away. Ish. And then this is the one that if I talk to you, if you know me, free transform tool in both programs is amazing. It's this one right here. And then what I can do is I can just grab it once that free transform and hold down shift, and you can adjust images so much better. So you all know in InDesign, and part of the pain of InDesign is like if you grab the corner and you want to size it, that crops it. And you're like, no, I don't want to crop it. And then you have to go to the direct select, and then you have to click on it, and then you do this, but then you have this outer border, which is a pain in the ass to deal with. So what you do is go to free transform. Let me make sure it's understanding me. So free transform, this tool, actually I should move it up here. It's something I use all the time. And then when you click on it, you can change the size of your image just by grabbing the corner and holding shift. And guess what? It works with type. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to get all these just like kind of the same width and then work. But you always have to go to it. It's E on the keyboard. If you click E on the keyboard, it just automatically goes to free transform. I will say it's one of the #1 used tools for me now. Once I discovered it, I didn't discover it. It's been there. But it made using InDesign 1,000 times easier. So now I have all these images, but I was going to show you, if I'm going to pull this off to the side, this is where it really shines. I'm going to copy and paste that. So say you have this and it's perfectly typeset, and I'm like, and you have it in a box. This is always what people do. You have it in a box, and I'm going to make that box black or magenta. Edit, object, arrange, send it back. So like you would turn it in like this. Oh wait, I can't stand that black outline. None. And if you turned it in, and I'd be like, oh, it's too tight in the box. Like your text is too tight in the box. You got to make the text smaller. And then you're like in InDesign, you're like, oh man, what a pain. But here you go. The free transform tool, because if I try to transform it like this, it makes it overset. And then you're like, oh, but then it's down here. Oh, that doesn't work. The free transform tool, if you grab the corner, will scale it and keep all of your typesetting exactly perfect. And then you can move it in the middle and be like, there. Now there's enough room around the edges. So the free transform tool in scaling, and like you get something set, and even with the type, it's so great. I use this all the time. That's like, it's so great. You just always hold down shift. You know, we don't want to ruin anything, but it will scale your type, and it's still editable, and you didn't like shift it. So free transform tool, this guy right here, or E on the keyboard. It says it right there. See, free transform tool, E. Start to use it. It'll speed up and make InDesign that much better. So wanted to make sure you all knew about that. I'll tell you about that probably every class. Like that's how much I use it. And then I got my 5 images, and I just placed them in a row there. I'm going to make them all smaller, because they're not all going to fit. So I'm going to grab them all. I'm going to go to that free transform tool, and I'm going to scale them all smaller. I'm holding down shift again. They don't need to be huge. I mean, you know what? Maybe I do want them all just on this edge. Maybe that's just the most sophisticated look. So what I'll do is, again, free transform, scale this to the margin. I'm just double checking everything. And then I will make sure that they're all left aligned. And then I'm going to go to distribute, and then make sure that they're all distributed equally. And then I'm a little bit over the margin. So I'm just going to use the arrow key and tap it to get it past the margin. And I think I could be done with that. It's like nice and simple. I'll move this over. And this is where I can go like with the paragraph and be like, well, I have room. I don't need to fill all the room. White space is wonderful in the design, but I'll make it the same distance here and here. So I can use that free transform tool and just change the whole box and not have to retypeset anything. It's slightly above center. These are all good. Pretty accurate. There, I got my next piece done for the print for chapter 2. And there we go. Nice and simple. And it's a simple design. It's using these programs over and over and over and finding the ways to get quicker. And then as we go, this always happens, as we move through the semester, you're going to like be challenging yourself. You're like, yeah, you know what? I want to do something more exciting. And then you do something else. But it's like within the guidelines, how creative can you be without it looking like somebody threw up? And it's like a rainbow of colors and this and that and the other. But we just like looking for like super accuracy. This is actually bugging me that all these aren't perfect. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab all those. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're all like just a little bit off. So because I'm going to have them line up on the right side instead, which is this one, because there's a little disturbance over here. And I'm talking it's like a 32nd of an inch, but there you go. I can close that out. All right, so now I corrected my title. I can turn that in. I can turn in the session 2, Printing Comes to Europe, and give that to put it into mid-session review, have me check it, and then today's assignment, which is a continuation of the poster series. So, oh crap. Hold on. I undid it. I might have to close. Okay. It does this thing because I have 2 windows open and one's recording. And I closed one. So, hopefully I can get around it. I might have to just talk it and not show you exactly what's there. All right. I'm going to keep this up so you can just see this area, and I apologize. It's because I set it on student preview, and then if I change something and I have 2 windows open because one's recording, it does this messed up stuff. So you have done part A. Part A was the research. Let's open up mine. I'll go through mine. Mine's not fully done, due tonight. But then I'm going to expand on it and talk you through. So I have my intro, part 1 research, and I got research about Herbert Matter, Bradbury Thompson, Otto Storch. Just got to still pull it in, typeset it, put the images in, and then I'm doing Vans. And so I have all my information in. I have to make adjustments. Look at these two widows. I got to get rid of those. So I'll do some dancing around with that. Right now, all the paragraphs are exactly the same width and height. So when I come to this Vans one, they should be the same height. Yeah. The way I get around, like how do you fix that? I have widows. Joel wrote to me and he said you have widows. The way you do that is I'm going to select that space and I'm going to hit shift and return, and it's soft return. And then there's a big gap here now. So I'm going to move gold down too. I want to visually look good. So I go and hand do these all the time. And that's a nice structure. Like there's not a big gap anywhere. And I have 3 words at the bottom. here mainstream is like a huge word. And this is part of your graphic design. Like this is what graphic designers do. You got to make sure your edges look great, your ragged edges. You know, this I might not be able to do because commitment is such a long word and massive, but maybe if I put massive here, pop this here, this like, I'm like, that's kind of the best I could do just because this is a long word at the end. And if I shift that, it really starts bringing things in and looking a little bit more goofy. Or what if I take times back up? Oh, maybe that's probably the better one. But then the problem is mainstream. So I'm going to go back. It's like what's the better one to do? I think it is to, what if I move lifestyle? Well, maybe if I do this. There, that's not horrible. It's not great, it's not horrible. There, I'll leave it at that. Okay. So that way I don't have the widows. One single word at the bottom of a paragraph. These are the things you have to look at. And when I was doing those returns, I was holding shift and return. That way it doesn't think about that it's an actual paragraph break, but it keeps it flowing as a sentence. So that's why I do that. When I say soft return, that is a way to change your line lengths without it thinking that it's an actual paragraph, a new paragraph. Kind of important to learn. Like once you start doing it, you'll be like, oh, now I get it. Okay, this is easier. And it's just a simple, you know, shift and return, two notes. So these are my 3 guys. I got to finish it up. I'll get it finished up tonight. Not enough time to send it to me for previewing, but I'll get it done. And then now you need to do some more visual research and, oh, it can make it bigger. Yell at me. So I want you to collect at least 5 visual examples from each of your 3 selected styles. So 15 total. So I want 5 more. So I need to find 5 more from Herbert, 5 more from Otto, 5 more from Thompson, Bradbury. The reason being is we're going to emulate these styles as a poster, but for our own client. My client will be Vans. So then I'm going to start thinking about Vans, but start making it look like Herbert Matter designed it for Vans. Bradbury Thomas designed this for Vans. Otto Storch designed this for Vans. And so the reason is I have all these ideas there to look at. So if I, go and I have, 3 starter references, and then I'm just going to go to the internet and find more. So, and new ones. Maybe I'll come across something that is a little bit different. And then I'll be like, oh, like that's an awesome one to use for Van. Like I can almost like totally emulate that. He's really into these like mixing. I love this mixing of colors and I do it all the time. Again, you got to make sure you're getting his work and not somebody else's work. But just find like 5 more and start to set it up. Look at that. I like this typography and photography. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But the Bradbury to West Coast. So you just got to make sure it is, their stuff. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff out there that isn't. So dig around, find it. There we go. That's a new style. Like these are 2. That's pretty cool. So you just go around and look at more. Ooh. This, I wonder, this is hard to tell if Bradbury did this or not. There's a standard one. But you like start to look and then you start to think like, how can I make what I need look like Bradbury did it. And then we go and we do some sketches. Like that's how I start. So, you know, I'm going to do a poster. I'm going to zoom in. And I just kind of think about the parts. So if I write on the side, it helps me too. I need the Vans logo. I need a shoe. At least one. I would like the checkerboard pattern that they're famous for. And it would be good to have like a model, meaning a person. Now, I had an idea of like a person like holding a shoe, you know, and they're like, oh, like in awe of it or something like. And that would be like black and white, and then we'd have like, you know, like colored dots behind it or something like that. It looked like a person's eating the shoe. So there's my, and then we have the, like the Vans logo, Vans, and then so, you know, like I need to work on this, but I want to check something, and this is how fast you should be working. You know, like this is, you do a bunch of them, you do like 12 of them, and you pick your favorites. Come on, I want person holding a shoe, and then I go to images and kind of like just look like, is there anything just quickly I can use? Because I can change out the shoe, you know what I mean, to a Vans. There's plenty of pictures of Vans shoes. I'm not getting what I want quite yet. So I have to dig around some more. But I have an idea. Worst comes to worst, I take a picture of somebody and then use that. This is actually sort of good, but it's kind of like too base. But I can find something. This is kind of, I just don't like this dork. It's not fitting the style that I want. Because if you go to like Vans, you know, the shoes are always plain. You know, maybe I probably end up using a Vans model. Like, it might just be easier if I pull from their site. Oh, shoes. Too fancy. I don't know if I click on them, what happens. I kind of get a mod. Oh, maybe this would be good. Like this cut off, like this would be maybe perfect. Like it's got the stripes. It's got, you know, it's got a human aspect to it. It's pretty toned down that if I were to like, you know, do something like this, or, you know, like any like change the image to look like this, like that may work really well. And so then I just want to go and be like, this is an idea. Save image as, and I'm just going to save it into a folder. I'll create a new folder and call it Vans ideas. Get that, save, boom. You know, I got it. I got it in a folder. I'm just not saving it all randomly on my desktop. But what you know, and then just kind of keep going through and come up with different ideas for every piece. And so now like that one changed into, why did I close it? I have to put it on a different screen for a minute. Oh, is this what's holding me up? I have too many windows open all over the place. Oh, there we go. There you can see it normal. Now I know why. All right. So then I'm going to go to this one, not that one. I'm going crazy with too many windows. All right, there it is. I'll move this over here. And then if I go back to this, then this is like, all right, it's the, you know, this is the checkerboard shorts, and then there's a foot, and then there's a foot, and it kind of goes like this, and then one goes up like this, one comes straight down into the shoe, right? Okay, that's all I need. Like, that's a visual reference. And then I'll put, you know, like Vans logo here. And I would like to add something more, you know, maybe the Sense or the, you know, I have the Vans, I have two logos to work with. One's the skateboard logo, one's the Vans logo. And then like, you know, like what do I add into this, into the background? Or he does this, and then like, why not do a cool, like a shoe top down, and then like have them overlapping, like CMYK. So those are overlapping shoes, you know, and then it'd be like, you know, have the Vans, and then maybe like the off the wall skateboard, you know, like, and that could be the simpler one, stylized by, you know, some of those examples that we've been looking at, you know, like this, you know. So I'm just taking inspiration. Here's one, you know, I could do the and then dots, and then just have a shoe, the checkerboard shoe. Lots of fun stuff. And then I go on to the next person. And the thing is with these is the reason why you're doing sketches, and I'm doing just, these are just very loose. And then you write, and I often write things like, you know, this is the, you know, this is that picture from site, you know, or I'll put like find shoe, and then be like multi four color overlay. And then like, so I get some ideas, and I'm just running, going, moving quick, and I just keep going. Maybe for like Bradbury, I come up with 10, 12 like little sketches. And then I find out, then I look at those and I'm like, okay, these are my favorite. And all I'm going to do is kind of like refine them a little bit. Take a look at them and be like, oh, let's just clean it up, because I want to be able to show the client the work. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Not a big deal. And then just like have it be a little bit better. And then I can write my notes on the side. And then so when I include like the 3 examples in my piece, I have 3 thumbnails that are like legible to, like, you know, this nice point where I can tell what it is, or hear if it's like really abstract and I'm really, you know, what is it, a shoe, the side of a shoe. That's all I need for the representation of that. People will see that that's a shoe. If you go a little bit further, you'd be like that, you know, and that's for mine. Just, you know, basic forms, or you can trace. Don't feel, you know, trace it. Your laptop that you're all working on, that screen, if you put a piece of paper down on top of the screen, you can lightly draw, you know, use what you have to get your ideas out, but don't jump into the computer. The computer slows you down. You'll be thinking more about what, instead of like, more about like the what's of the computer, and grabbing this item to make this shape, rather than just being like, you know, I'm starting out and I want a bunch of random circles, all different colors. So like I did that, and I'm not like in a program like doing the circle. And then I want, you know, I'm going to have the shoe, you know, and I want to have a shoe like this. Whoops. Like what I just drew. but then maybe like a bunch of shoes repeating. And I can draw paths, you know. Or maybe, yeah, or maybe they should be perfectly in line. So I can redraw that. Like, and then I fix it up on the next one. And it's gonna be like yellow, magenta, cyan, and then maybe like going the other way as this like weird overlap, black or K. So like just getting those ideas on. I did this in a couple seconds and it gives me my idea. I'm going to remember what that is. And then if I wanted to, I'm going to be like, okay, let's refine that a little bit. I'll change my ink color. I like to just change that. This is me. And I'm drawing. If you're like, how are you doing that? I draw. We have these wonderful computers here at school. You could draw on the screen and draw in the Photoshop, and then I don't even have to scan. I can draw. I could save this and bring this right into InDesign as my examples. So like then like here, I can turn the opacity down on this in the background, and then be like, okay. Oh, I want to be on this layer. So this is now the poster, and then it's gonna help me. I'm gonna be like really light draw. I just want my like one shoe. Two shoes. Three shoes. And then I want the other shoe going the other way. You know, and I can adjust this. So those will be evenly spaced. And then I can still write my notes with little lines. And then, you know, I'm going to add like squares or something to this one. Color squares. And then maybe in one of those color squares is the Vans logo. And then that's tightened up. And by me doing this, I can then make that poster in like 30 minutes because I know exactly what I want to do. And I did all my thinking in advance. And I'm like, okay, so I need to find a shoe, turn it black and white. And then in Photoshop, you know, even though I think after you do it black and white, if you do it in InDesign, you can just make that photo a one color. And then it's the same shoe repeated. And so I just need to find the shoe and then make my graphics in the background and put in my logo. And it's like that easy. So that's why we do the sketching. So I want to see sketches, like quick little sketches. They're quick. Some people are more inclined to do a little bit better. You can refine them. Of course, I'm doing them super quick here because I'm doing them in front of you. But if I was doing this, I would set probably an hour for each designer, you know, or each area. I just happened to pick 3 designers for my project. But if you have, you know, if you're doing Swiss design, something design, another design, 1 hour and just knock out little drawings, pick your 3 to 5 best, maybe just kind of clean them up and then turn them in. And you've seen what I've done in this short amount of time. There's at least 4, I could 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just hash them out, knock them out. It's super fun and easy because you're not worrying about stuff. Now this one just looks like they're about to eat the shoe. So that's the other reason. My first idea, I don't like it at all. But as I grew, I'm starting, like, as I push it, I'm like, oh, I'm liking the ideas that are further out than the very first one I came up with. And that's exactly the other reason why we do this. And so if you space it out over some days, do one thing one day, do another set of sketches another day, another set of sketches the third day, then you're thinking about it over days, and then your mind's subconsciously thinking about it. Then you may go back and be like, I have another idea for that one that's even better. Then you refine it, and then you just jump back into, and then you set them up in your InDesign file. So for me, I'm going to do pink is the next one. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add pages. I think I like pages over here. I'm going to add a bunch of pages, right? I'm going to start here, and I have a minimum of 3. I'm going to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually 7. So this is title change, and then this will be Herbert Matter images, Herbert Matter sketches, Bradbury Thompson images, Bradbury Thompson sketches, auto images, auto sketches. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to page 2. Actually, I'm going to go to title, the title page. I'm going to make sure I can grab everything. I unlock all my layers. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go here to this page. Make sure I double click on. I'm going to go to edit, paste in place. Everything is exactly where it was on that first page, but now it's on the second page. Now I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. And then this is called Project A Part 2. What do I have it called in the first page? Part 1 research. This is Part 2 sketches. And then, because I wrote it in the pink, when I take this, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to make sure it goes to the background. I'm going to go to edit, paste in place. I'm going to back out. And then just do this for all of these where I make it the entire background. Copy, edit, paste in place. And the easier one, I'm doing this backward. That's the slow way. Jesus, what am I doing? Once you get one, it's actually easier to delete these and then just copy these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I wanted to, I can copy my titles over. You know, and then knowing that my titles will all be the same, and why not repeat it? You know, if I copy that, this will be edit, paste in place, edit, paste in place. Bradbury Thompson's copy, edit, paste in place, edit, paste in place, edit, paste in place. And I'll kind of show you like the other reason to do some of this is copy, edit, paste in place, edit, paste in place. So then I'll put in all my information. I'll have 5 new images on this page and 3 sketches on this page. 5 images on this page, 3 sketches on this page, 5 images on this page, 3 sketches on this page. And because I'm using everything and I'm doing the copy and paste in place, I'm going to get no jitter, no jumping. What does that mean? I'm going to go to File, Export, and I'm going to export a quick PDF. Well, you know, like we're exporting for our assignments. So I'm going to export. I'm going to hit Save, and it can be small as file size. That's great. And I'm going to hit Export, and I'm going to have View PDF after exporting. I talk about that a lot. You should always check your work. Okay, that's fine. And there we go. So then I can go down, and then the thing is, like when I talk about, it's like when I go from page to page, when I look at your work, this is what I do. And I'm seeing, you know, I'm actually seeing a jump. It's Herbert Matter and Bradbury Thompson, there's a little jump. But auto, there's not. So I'm going to go in and fix that. See that? Herbert's higher. I must have moved something. So I fixed that because when somebody looks at a presentation and you're going through it, if there's like little, people notice that and they're like, oh, I wonder why it changed like that. And then they start looking at that and not the work. So that's why I'm always like, oh, I see some jumping happening. But like, so just the one is off. Bradbury, Auto, Vans, all perfect. And then part 2 sketches, and then boom. See how you can't even tell that I'm going on different pages right now than Herbert Matter. So I just have to fix Herbert Matter. And that's an easy fix. What I'm going to do is copy this, delete this, go to edit, paste in place. And I go, I fix that, right? Then I'm going to copy this, go to here, delete that, edit, paste in place, delete this, edit, paste in place, file, export. Oh, I got to export it again. Yeah, you want your work to be perfect. No reason. Oh, he kept saying it's a little bit off. But yeah, this is how we get it. So it like looks so clean and clear. And I'm going to back out a little bit. So now when I go from page to page to page, see how each name stays in line? The paragraphs are in the same spot. And then when I go 2, like you can't tell that I'm switching pages here. The only thing I'm not digging is, not kind of like how bright it is. So there you go. Have some fun. Come up with sketches. We're trying to emulate the style of whoever you picked, if there's a designer, or if you picked a whole genre, like Swiss design or something like that, and then your client. And that's what I want you to work on. It should be good. It should be fun. You know, extend it, work on it over a few days. You got this. Good times. I don't think I missed anything. I think I went over everything we need to go over. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Well, you know where to reach me. And I already did last week. Tuesday's assignments have been graded, and I make comments on stuff. So make sure you go back and you're not repeating problems or whatever. You know, even if it's an A, look at it. I make a comment. There's either praise or like, it's really great, except you missed this one thing. So make sure you're checking everything. Make sure you're growing as we move forward. And with that said, I will talk to you on the discussion boards or next week, Tuesday. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.